So hello everyone, this is not a video that I wanted to make. I would have much rather made a video where I could have taken the plane up and gone flying around, but as circumstances would have it, the weather hasn't been cooperating around here, and haven't been able to go and take the plane up. So I had promised that I would try to make one video per week, and so this is my attempt at making a video purely for entertainment and for some fun and for some input as to what's going on, not only in my life, but in the aviation community here in Iowa. So first off, start by saying that that the weather's been bad, hasn't been fun around here, and with football Saturday and everything else, I decided not to take the plane up. But I do plan on taking it up here soon and going flying. So I will have another video coming out in regards to that. So also wanted to share a story, a funny story, real quick that goes along with what's going to happen later on this week. But first, I just want to tell you guys that that I bought a new camera. I've been getting a lot of feedback from people, and they said, you know what, we really want to see what's going on outside the aircraft. That's the kind of the thrilling part, you know, takeoff and landing and that kind of stuff. So I invested in an Insta360 camera, Insta360 X3 camera, an action camera that I am going to mount on the outside of the aircraft. It's a 360-degree camera, which will allow us to be able to see all kinds of stuff around us, and I'll be able to fly over things and kind of fixate on it, and as we're flying by, be able to keep fixated on it. So I think that this will be a good addition to the YouTube channel. So I bought it, and we will see how it works on the next flight. I had to buy a new a cage for it, because the cage that came with this, that actually surrounds the little camera, is made of ABS plastic, and I certainly don't want to have this hooked to my plane and have the plastic break and then this get put into a cornfield and tilled under. But I bought an aluminum one, so a heavy-duty one that this cage will fit in, and we can mount this to the plane. I think I'm going to mount it on the vertical fin on the back of the aircraft. That gives that top look. That way we can look around. I might put it underneath the aircraft if I get some lens protectors, and the only reason I say that is because exhaust tends to come down the underbelly of the plane and puts off some soot, a little bit of oil, a little bit of gas, unburned gas, things like that, and those lenses get pretty hammered. I have to clean them off quite a bit when I get ready to go for the flight. So I am going to put this on the aircraft as soon as I get my cage, and I will fly with it, and we'll see how well that sucker works. I also plan on getting another GoPro camera, put it inside the little cameras that I use, these little ones like this, these little 4 van top cameras. They're nice, they're great, but they're cheap. I think I paid 50 or 60 bucks for this thing. What's nice about it is it has a touch screen on the back, which allows me to be able to get through the settings on it pretty quickly. But this particular camera does not do well at contrast between light and dark. So when I have it in the aircraft looking out the windows from the inside, the dash is dark, and then you see everything outside the aircraft. You can't see the instruments on the dash. So GoPro does a great job of being able to deal with that contrast from light to dark and actually focus in on everything. So I think I'm going to get another GoPro and put it inside the aircraft. So with that said, that's kind of the new equipment that I'm going to be putting into this channel. Thought having this X3 camera would be awesome. It also has, I'm going to buy a waterproof case for it. I do plan on taking this X3 with me scuba diving. I plan on going to Ecuador in January for a couple weeks, and I will take it with me down there and do some scuba diving. We're going to hop on over to the Galapagos Islands and go do the Darwin experience over there. So that'll be pretty cool. But anyway, enough with the equipment. Go on to sharing a story of me about 12 years ago. 12 years ago, I decided to go skydiving. I had a buddy of mine call me and say, hey, listen, let's go skydiving. So I said, all right, let's do this. So we drove to Winterset, which is where the skydivers were at the time, and drove down there, got there really early in the morning, like 7:30 in the morning. We had an 8 o'clock, we had to arrive by 8 o'clock. So we got there at 7:30, and as we walked in to this hangar, I saw this big sign above the the door, the entry door there, and it says Home of the Couch Freaks. I didn't quite understand what that meant, but when I opened up the hangar door, I saw all kinds of couches in there. I saw a DJ stand up in the loft and big speakers and disco lights and all kinds of stuff. And there was a bunch of RVs, like campers and stuff, sitting outside. And there was a fire pit in the middle and chairs still sitting there. The fire was still smoldering, probably from the night before. But realized that a lot of these guys that were doing the skydiving, instructing, and the tandem jumps lived at the airfield. And I guess they partied at night, and that's what all the couches were for. But nonetheless, when I arrived, we had a guy sitting there cooking some food, and he looked over at me and he says, "Hey man, you ready to go diving?" And I said, it's like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go." He goes, "All right, man, come on in. I'll be right with you." So he continued to finish his breakfast, and I sat there waiting, and on one of the couches. And I remember it was just really laid back. And I'm thinking that we're gonna get a whole class on how to do this and the safety and all that kind of stuff. And when he was done with his breakfast, he came over to me and he says, "All right, man, here's what we're gonna do." And he had this real surfer type lingo to him. And he says, "All right, man, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get like in a plane and we're gonna like cruise up like this." He goes, "Is that cool with you?" I said, "Yeah, that's cool with me." He says, "All right, then we're gonna get like way up high and you're gonna be strapped to me." He says, "Is that cool with you?" And I said, "Yeah, that's cool with me." He said, "Then we're gonna fall out of the plane like this and we're gonna do this like somersault stuff." He said, "You cool with that?" I said, "Yeah, I'm cool with that." And this time I'm kind of giggling a little bit because this guy is not very serious, if you know what I mean. And I thought he was just playing around with me. He said, "Then we're gonna cruise down to the ground like this. Then we're gonna pop the chute and we're gonna glide down and I'm gonna let you steer and you're gonna be able to turn it like this and this and this." He says, "Is that cool with you?" I said, "Yeah, that's cool with me." He says, "Then we're gonna come in and we're gonna pick up our legs and we're gonna land on our butts." And I said, "All right." He goes, "Is that cool with you?" And I said, "Oh yeah, it's real cool with me." He says, "All right, man, get down and show me your skydiving pose." I said, what do you mean?" He goes, "Lay on your stomach and give me your skydiving pose." And so I said, "All right." So I laid down on the floor and did my skydiving pose. He goes, "Now lift your legs up." And I lift my legs up and he goes, "All right, man." He says, "You're cool, let's go diving." And that was the extent of the tutorial that I got to go skydiving. I was thinking there was a class and videos and instruction, and I got that. I got that, but nonetheless, I jumped in this plane with this guy, and we strapped together. We went up and we jumped out. We did our somersault. We did this to the ground and all that kind of stuff. And he let me steer the plane or steer the parachute and do all that kind of stuff. And we did come in and skid on our butts in the grass. And I had a really good time. And the reason I tell you this is because this Saturday, September 30th, I plan on going and doing it again. This time I'm going to take my son up with me. We're going to go to, they've since moved from Winterset to Knoxville. So they're in Knoxville now. I don't think they're the Couch Freaks anymore. They're the Des Moines Skydiver Club, I believe is who they are. But I'm going to be going there on September 30th, this Saturday, to go jump out of a plane at 10,000 feet. So I plan on taking the cameras with me. I'm really hoping and crossing my fingers that the weather's going to be awesome. We'll be able to do all the fun things that I remember doing 12 years ago. This time I get to share that experience with my son, which will be pretty awesome. That day is also a special day for Fly Iowa. Fly Iowa is holding up their fly-in lunch there in Knoxville. From, I believe, and I got a flyer here, and I'll post it online here. I'll post the flyer so you guys can see it. So it's the Knoxville Air Show and Fly-In. They're going to have an EAA youth rally there and Young Eagle flights. So they're going to be doing that from 8:30 to 1. Fly Iowa Fly-In will be from 1 to 4:30, so there's going to be like a hog roast, some food, and they got a home-built workshop going on, got some drones, a hot air balloon, military aircraft, and and sprint cars will all be there in Knoxville, because Knoxville is home to the sprint. It's the sprint car capital of the world, if you didn't know that, here in Iowa. A lot of sprint car races, and we have a lot of NASCAR drivers that come through town to watch the sprint car nationals. So they'll have some sprint cars there. They'll have a family fun festival with bounce houses and petting zoos and all that kind of stuff. Again, from 1 to 4. And then from 4:30 to 6 will be the Knoxville Air Show. So they're gonna have some planes go up and do some aerobatic stuff, which will be pretty cool. And then from 6 to 8:30 will be a concert. They'll have, I think it's Neva Alden, I think is the name of the first guy, and then the Nadas is second. And if you know anything about Iowa and music, the Nadas are pretty popular here in Iowa, so they'll be there. There'll be food trucks available, all kinds of stuff. So this is going to be an all-day deal. We plan on showing up early to do the skydive, because we have to be there by 8. So we will take the plane probably early morning. It'll probably still be dark out. But we'll fly down there, and then we'll jump out of the plane. We'll bring some lawn chairs, and we will hang out for the day. I encourage you, if you're in the Midwest, anywhere in the Midwest, and you want to have a fun-filled day at an air show or a fly-in, come to Knoxville. This will be a great opportunity for you guys to, you can bring your kids, and they'll have things for the kids to do, and stay as late as you want. There'll be a nice concert at the end, but it should be a good time. Again, it's this Saturday, September 30th. I plan on going, and I'm excited to go. Excited to jump out of a plane again, so this will be fun. But hope you guys can join me on the next one. I'm sorry I didn't get a flying content video, but like I said, the weather hasn't been cooperating, and I'm hoping that it cooperates this upcoming weekend. So until we see each other again, you guys stay safe, and we'll see you over the friendly skies of Iowa. It is now pizza roll time for me. So lunchtime. And remember that I love you, the Lord loves you, and it doesn't hurt to give at least 1 hour a week to God. So go to church, you'll find plenty of blessings there, I promise you. So until next time, you guys take care. Peace.